Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Mary and I give you an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you can click the subscribe button and stay for a while. I upload 3 times a week. Get ready with me, so show my stash, trying on new makeup. If it's beauty or makeup related, I will be posting it. And if you're returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. I sound tired because I am. Yesterday was my niece's wedding, so my husband's sister's daughter. Yeah, it was an eventful couple of days and we are all so exhausted. But as you could see from the title of the video, I placed an order at Sephora for some Patrick Ta items, one of them being the new highlighting duo. And then I went ahead and purchased one of the new shades that he came out with about 3 months ago. So I'm excited to try these out. And I figured let's go ahead and just make it a full face of the Patrick Ta beauty items that I own from his line. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this video. Okay, hair is pulled back. I do have the Patrick Ta. The only thing, like, this is very pretty, the packaging that he does for all of his stuff, but it's really hard to read. The Creme foundation and finishing powder duo. I have the shade light medium 4. Hopefully it works because I feel like it's a tiny bit dark. I should have gone at least 1 shade down, but it's fine. Face is already primed. I went into the Ordinary Milky Toner, Hourglass Mattifying Primer for my T-zone, and the Charlotte Tilbury Serum, I forget what it's called, for the perimeters of my face. So let's get this foundation on. I do enjoy this. I think it's a really pretty, natural, if you go light enough, kind of finish. It's definitely not for everybody. I do know a couple of the beauty content creators here did not enjoy it, like Angelica Nickvis. She decluttered this foundation, but and I think Morgan Turner also didn't like it. Blair from Simply Blair, she loves it. Who else loves it? I don't know, but for me, it's a really pretty one. The formula is beautiful. It works great. It lasts all day. It looks pretty natural. It's a nice foundation in my book. Okay, there's the foundation. Very skin-like. Lightweight is how I enjoy to use it. I don't like to pack on too much. I did go into the Cali Ray Under Eye Brightener and the Laura Mercier Concealer, the one that's being discontinued. Now we're going to do some cream bronzer. Patrick Ta does not have a concealer in his line. I'm hoping that's coming. Fingers crossed. And for bronzer, he does have this duo. It's a contour and bronzer duo. The Creme Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. When this was first launched, there was only 3 shades available, and I believe there's 5 or 6 shades available now. I have She Sculpted. So this is the cream contour and the powder bronzer. So I'll go ahead and jump into the contour, which I do enjoy. I think this is a good shade for actually contouring and sculpting my face. And then I'll probably jump to a cream bronzer from a different brand. Super creamy, beautiful. Like I said, I feel like this tone for the cream is a true contour for me. I mean, it's more of a neutral, but it's better than it being like a warm tone kind of cream, where then it would be a bronzer, you know? I do enjoy this. I think it's a good product. This is the BK Beauty 111. And for foundation, that was also a BK Beauty brush. I always link the exact brushes I'm using, so always check the description box. See, it blends out beautifully, seamlessly. I had no issues at all blending it out. All right, so that's what the face is looking like. I did go into the Westman Atelier Mini Cream Contour, but in the shade Truffle, which has a tiny bit of warmth to it, and that's why I ended up using it as a bronzer, cream bronzer. Now we're going to jump back in to the foundation duo. because there is a powder in there. Now, when he first launched that powder, he did mention that he intended for that powder to be used like as a finishing powder or around your T-zone, maybe even under your eyes, but it wasn't intended to be a all over the face kind of powder. I'm just gonna set my under eyes with some setting spray. I always do this before powdering. I do enjoy the powder in the Patrick Ta Duo. I think the formula is really nice. It works well for my under eyes and for my T-zone. I wouldn't say it's a product that controls your oils, but it seems to do a decent job when I use it in my T-zone. I'm going to use a puff for my under eyes. It's pretty lightweight. Okay, I only set my under eyes and right down here because I did purchase a blush duo. The Major Headlines Double Take Creme and Powder Blush Duo. He now has 12 different shades and it retails for $38. So 3 months ago, he came out with 3 new different shades. The one that I purchased, which is She's the Moment, and it's described as a soft tangerine. Just Enough, which is a soft blue pink. I already have a pretty bright pink shade from his, so I chose not to purchase that one. And Not Too Much, which is a soft rosy taupe. This has become a super favorite in so many of the beauty content creators that I watch, but I feel like the other two that I own from his line, similar vibes to Just Enough, so it just made more sense for me to purchase this one. She's the Moment, I almost purchased when he did launch these, but I decided to wait, and I'm glad I did because now I got these two in the same order and I can try them both out at the same time. Here it is, new packaging, and there is the beautiful, beautiful shade. So let me go ahead and swatch the cream for you. So I feel like these became popular because of how he intended for these to be used. He applies the powder first and then he applies the cream on top. That way it gives you a tiny bit of a dew to the blush. And I feel that's what made this blush duo from Patrick Ta popular. But those shades look beautiful and perfect for summer. Okay, I am going to apply some of the cream blush before I go in with my powder for the rest of my face. Now you can definitely do blush first and then the powder. I have tried it both ways, but I do prefer powder first and then the cream on top. But since we are going to powder the face, it should be fine if I go in with some of the cream formula. You can just use the cream formula, you can just use the powder formula, like whatever your little heart desires, you know? Oh, this is the MY5 from the Danessa Myricks and my Kid Co brush collection. Okay, so I want to say maybe this formula is a tiny bit different from the other 3 that I own because I do feel like the pigmentation on the cream blush is a tiny bit more sheer than I remember. But it's a beautiful, beautiful tone. Not scary, even though I feel it looks a tiny bit scary in the pan. Okay, I finished off the powdering with the Laura Mercier loose powder, and I feel like that cream blush is still peeking through just a tiny bit, which is good. Now we're going to jump back in to the bronzer duo and use that powder bronzer. This is the Soft Buffer from Sonia G. Like I said, I do enjoy this. The powder bronzer is definitely a little bit on the orange side, but it's not too bad. And I do enjoy the finish of the powder bronzer from the duo. It's really pretty. All right, my lovelies, we are going to do a quick eye look. I will speed through it. I do own 2 of the Patrick Ta eyeshadow palettes. Major Dimensions, which is the first one he came out with, and it's a pretty neutral nude kind of palette. Major Dimensions 2, which has a little bit of more rosy tones in it. I cannot find it. I have been looking for that palette since the last time I filmed with my Patrick Ta collection items. I just looked before I started filming again in all of the areas where I have eyeshadow palettes and I cannot find it, and I am so annoyed with myself. So either somebody stole it or I just have no idea where the hell I put it. Yeah, I am just... So we will have to go in with the major dimension and create an eye look that's going to look pretty much close to the same as the last one I created when I picked up this palette, because I can't find my major dimensions too. I do have the Rare Beauty Eye Primer, so let's get started. Okay, I think I'm gonna jump into this tone here. This is a Moda Pro 466. I'll do a halo eye today. Okay, I'm gonna jump in to the darkest cream. I've used it on top of powder and it worked pretty well. This is a L'Oreal Los Angeles L16. And I'm just gonna tap first and then blend. Glitter glue is on. Let's go ahead and jump into this one here. It's like a topper. Okay, inner corner. Okay, eyes are done. I did go in to the Cali Ray mascara. Now we can go back in to the blush. She's the Moment. So I'll do powder, cream on top, and then I'll do cream and then powder on top. Let's start with this side. This is the Sonia G Soft Cheek. I'm already powdered, FYI. Oh, so pretty. That goes beautifully with this eye look. I don't think there's any luminosity. Well, maybe a tiny bit with the powder. Slight sheen. Okay, now with the MY5 from My Kid Co and Danessa Myricks, I dipped into the cream and then we're gonna apply this on top. And I usually do tapping motion so I don't disrupt anything in the bottom. Okay, pretty. All right, so now this side, the cream, same brush. I'm gonna do tapping motions since I'm powdered. And you can see the intensity with this side and this side. So the cream formulation of this one specifically, because I don't think my other ones are like this. It's pretty sheer. Not like annoying sheer, but like the right amount. Okay, the same as Sonia G Soft Cheek, but I'm gonna tread softly because I do feel like the powder is a tiny bit more pigmented than the cream. And since the cream is a little bit wet, tacky, whatever word you wanna use, this is really going to stick to it. Okay, so this side is cream first and then powder. And then this side is powder first and then cream. I feel like this one just looks a tiny bit better. Not a huge difference, but... Okay, and now for what I feel is the most exciting part of this video, and that is the new product from Patrick Ta, the Major Glow Creme and Powder Light Reflecting Translucent Highlighting Duo. Retails for $40 and there is 5 different shades available. I purchased Daddy, which is the rose gold shimmer, but there's one that looks icy, there's a pinky one, there's a golden champagne one, and a bronzy one. 12-month shelf life, and it was made in the USA. Same with the blush. An intentionally translucent, versatile cream and powder highlighter duo that lets skin shine through, infused with multifaceted pearls for an ultra refined shimmer and dewy glow. So do not expect for this to be an actual old school highlighter. expect it to give you more of a glow from within, dewy, glass, wet kind of shine. I feel like I could probably wear, if not all, 4 out of the 5 shades because of the sheerness in the formulation. I personally love that kind of highlighter, one that gives you that glow from within. This sounds divine to me, and that's one of the reasons why I am super excited. Okay, so you can actually wear this in multiple of ways. You can wear just the cream, you can wear just the powder highlighter, you can wear the powder highlighter and then the cream on top, or like I did with this cheek, the cream and then the powder on top. With highlighter, I don't know if it's going to work the same. I'm pretty sure he meant for these to be used the way that his blushes is powder first and then cream on top. Yeah, but let me swatch. Okay, so definitely feels dewy, like not quite Vaseline, but close. And as you can see, the formula is pretty sheer, at least for the cream portion of it. Okay, let me swatch. Ooh, feels really soft. What is it reminding me of? Really, really soft. I think it's talc free if I remember reading correctly. Oh yeah, you see that? Oh my goodness. So I'll do what I did. This cheek, since it has the cream underneath and the powder on top, let's try that, see how it goes. And then this side we'll do the powder and then the cream up top. Let me figure out what brushes I'm gonna use. Hold please. All right, so my favorite brush for cream and liquid highlighters is the BK Beauty 113. I have tried a multiple of other brushes, and this brush, the bristles, the shape, just everything about it is the one that works the best. So let's start with the side that I think might go terribly wrong. And if you look at the pan, it looks wet. You see that? So very, very balmy. I'm just gonna dip my brush right into it. There's definitely product in there, but I'm gonna tap a tiny bit on the back of my hand. Oh, look how pretty. Ooh, I already know the cream on its own I'm going to love. Only question is, will it stay tacky? And I think it will, just by the feeling of it. Hopefully not too tacky, because if this is meant to be used on top of the powder, then that means it's gonna stay like that, you know? Okay, so there is the cream, and if you ask me, it looks gorgeous. Okay, so this is my Sonia G Worker L from the Fundamental set. I'm gonna dip into the powder, tap the excess, and I think I'm going to tap okay, that actually went better than I thought. And I don't think it looks horrible as far as texture, how it's laying on top of the product. Okay. Not going to lie, I was pretty scared to try this method. I'm wiping my brush and I'm just gonna see if I can just kind of soften up the edges. Make it look like it's sunk into my skin. Okay, that went well. Very, very well. This is the brush I used for the powder blush. I'm just gonna use this to melt everything together. Okay, that actually went very well. Very, very well. Okay, now for the side where it's powder first and then cream. So the same Sonia G brush. Now we get to see what the powder looks on its own. Ooh. I love this shade, it's so pretty. I would definitely say it's more of a rosy kind of shift than a rose gold. At least on my skin, that's how it's pulling. Okay, so here's what just the powder looks like. Pretty pretty. I feel like I see more rose than rose gold. Okay, now the BK Beauty 113. Dipped into the cream. I am going to tap and I'm going to apply this up top. Okay, now I'm preferring the shade I'm seeing. So I think the powder for sure on its own, it's a little bit more on the rose side. And I'm talking like a warm kind of rose than rose gold. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty. So I think I'm liking the sparkle and the undertone of the cream more than the powder. I feel like they both look beautiful. Maybe just a tiny bit of lifting here, but nothing that's super dramatic, just a tiny bit. So I did dip in to the cream again from the blush, just to kind of melt everything together. Okay, so this side is cream first and then powder for both the blush and the highlighter. And then this side is powder first and then the cream up top. Okay, let me go ahead and finish off the rest of my face off camera because I don't own any lip products from Patrick Ta. I also don't own his mascara, and I've tried the gel, the brow gel. It's a really good one. It does keep your brows in place all day long. The only thing is you have to learn how to use it and you have to be pretty quick. It does dry down very, very fast, and once it dries out and once it dries down, you can't go over it because then it looks flaky. And I think, does he have, I don't think he has a setting spray. I know he has that glowy body oil. Does he have primers? For sure, mascara, lip liner, maybe lipstick is all of the products that I don't own from him. I have definitely wanted to try. I just haven't found the opportunity to give myself the excuse to purchase it. So let me go ahead and finish off the rest of my face and I will be right back and we can talk about the 2 new items and just Patrick Ta beauty as a whole. All right. 1 minute. All right, my lovelies, face is completed. I did go in to Westman Atelier lipstick BK, I think is the name of the shade that I have. It's a little on the darker side, but from time to time, I don't mind wearing shades like these. I did also go in to the V lip liner in Bark. And for the eyebrows, I went into the Make Beauty Brow Gel. And that is it. Here is my almost full face of Patrick Ta beauty. Okay, so these 2 new products. For the blush, She's the Moment. It's just a new shade for me. I already know that I love and adore this formula. And I feel like, even though the cream formulation is a tiny bit more on the sheer side, I feel like for this shade, it works perfectly. Yeah, so I'm enjoying this. I think the blush looks beautiful. And even though I prefer this side just a tiny bit more when it comes to the blush application, I still think that they both look really, really good. So this shade, winner for me in my book, and I'm glad it's in my collection. Like I mentioned, I do own 3 other shades from his line. This one here, which is She's Baked. She's Blushing, which looks similar to She's Baked, and She's Giving, which looks like a bubblegum pink shade. So the cream formulation in these 3 I feel is not, it's a little bit more opaque than the new one I picked up. That shade looks nothing like any of these. And that's why I went with that shade. Okay, now for the new item, the highlighting duo. Like I mentioned, Daddy is the shade that I picked up. And I am really enjoying this. I think the cream more than the powder. I don't know if I would use the powder on its own because it pulled a little too rosy for my liking. but with the cream, it's perfect. So I think when I pick this up, I will be using both of them and not just one or the other. Well, if I use the cream on its own, I think that would be fine because I'm enjoying the tone of the cream more than the powder. Other than that, I think this is absolutely stunning. So, so beautiful. And both ways that I applied worked very, very well. I don't know. I feel like application wise, I might be enjoying the cream and then the powder on top a tiny bit more. And then for this one, which is the powder and then the cream, I don't know. They both look so pretty. They both look so pretty. For sure though, I don't think I'll be using the powder on its own. Just the undertone is not my preference. And now I'm kind of kicking myself in the head because maybe I should have picked up the champagne one. But this is very pretty. Very, very pretty. I think he knocked it out of the park with this. It's not going to be for everybody. Let me tell you that right now. It's not going to be for everybody. Products like these are either for you or they're not. I'm enjoying it, and first impression, I'm borderline loving it, but that's because these kinds of products I truly enjoy. The cream formulation in here, the two that I can think of to best be compared to it, not exactly like it, but very close, are the Westman Atelier highlighting stick, which I do really enjoy. I own one, and the Merit Beauty. Yeah, I just feel like those are pretty close to the finish of the cream in this duo. So if you have those and you enjoy them, I think you would enjoy this. Now, I feel like $40 is a little bit up there, but inflation is happening. Yeah, inflation is just freaking bummer. You are getting two different kinds of formulations, so 20 each. Just case by case, you know, it's either too expensive or it's not. Once you try it, you'll know. I feel like whether it was worth your money or not. Okay, now when it comes to everything else that Patrick Ta Beauty has to offer, I enjoy pretty much everything that I have in my collection from Patrick Ta. Now, there are a couple of categories that I haven't tried, like eyebrows and lips, but what I do own, honestly, it's just amazing. I feel like Patrick Ta, I mean, he is a makeup artist, so he kind of keeps the makeup artist side of it in mind, but also the consumer side. I definitely feel like there's a particular audience that do really enjoy his products because it's not for everybody. And it is impossible for one makeup brand to be for everybody because we all have different likes and dislikes. We all have different skin tones, different skin types. It is absolutely impossible to find a brand that caters to absolutely everybody. But for me, Patrick Ta is definitely a pretty good brand, and I need to invest maybe in a couple of other items from his brand. I'm really sad that I cannot find the Major Dimension 2 palette because that one has, I think, a couple of new formulations and it's a different kind of tone. I feel like with his first palette, there's not much of a difference when it comes to creating different eye looks, but this eye look is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I do enjoy the mattes from his palettes. The shimmers I feel is a hit or miss, but I can definitely make them all work for me. Okay, my lovelies, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it helped you out in deciding whether you need to pick up his new highlighting duo or not. For me, I already knew I was going to as soon as I saw it. Okay, again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You have no idea. All the comments, all the likes. If you use my links to shop, it truly does mean the world to me. With that being said, do not forget to give the video a big thumbs up. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you all on the next video. Bye!